Here we are in another Baxter Effect podcast. Your host, John Baxter. Exciting talk, and I have an interview today with a very special gentleman. And today's topic is the not only the future of healthcare, but the Great Reset, the Great Healthcare Reset, if you want to call it. And we all know that healthcare is about to change. It's pointing in this direction. It's been pointing in this direction. And due to these changes, we will have a better healthcare system. And this system would be a system that talks about truth, is rooted in reality and truth. And the fees and the process of getting help in this future of healthcare system is much more affordable. The information out there since I was a kid has been wrong. It's been a lie. It's just from the fact that a sugar is a sugar to a carbohydrate is just a carbohydrate. They gave us all this misinformation to take control of our health, and now it's time to put our health back into our hands. No one's coming to save us. So, today's talk is about this reset, the Great Healthcare Reset. And if you're not familiar with it, it's happening right now. And we're seeing it in different types of evolutions within the industry. Plus, I have an interview with a very special guest. So this is one of those shows you just don't want to miss. As always, like, share, comment, put some, throw a fastball at me. I don't care. But put some comments out there. Be happy to answer any questions you have. And as you are starting to become well aware that this topic is not just a topic near and dear to my heart. It's just a topic that is important on many different levels, including what we talk about all the time is this futuristic ecosystem, this ecosystem of health. That means having all the technology at your fingertips, at your disposal, so that you can take full advantage of the technology of today. And this combines the understanding that the current healthcare system is collapsing. This has the understanding that AI, hate it or like it, it does a better job of computation with data than we can. This has everything to do with frequency medicine, and stay tuned there. Mental health. Mental health is a big one, including different types of drugs, and per se, anywhere from psilocybin to ibogaine. One of our guests here is going to speak intelligently about this. And getting off of addiction and trauma. So stay tuned for this. We're talking about longevity, and longevity, not only systems, but longevity medicine. And this road to recovery, how fast can you recover? Remember, this is a race. In our eyes, healthcare is a race, right? Because a race, you have a starting point of where you're at. Once you find out or detect an issue, it's a race to get you better. And no one's looking out for anyone. It's not a race to get you better in the current paradigm of health with Big Pharma. That race that they created is to put you on the sidelines. That race that they show you is to put you in the pit stop. But the future, this future reset that's happening right now, it's to put you front and center, and to put your health and get your health to a place where you can get to the finish line. There are no boogeymans in this current healthcare system that I'm speaking of. There's no smoke and mirrors. There is no gray areas. There's no vague science, which have been lies. We've been fed lies like it's a 3-course meal. And we were the ones that accepted it, and we are the ones that have to make our own bed. And in doing so, This is the level of discernment you'll get with us. The level of education and information that we supply you with is at a level where you are now armed. You are now ready. You are now compiling research, evidence, information to be a much stronger individual when it comes to figuring out what's going on with the healthcare system and how you can get better on your own. So no one's coming to save you, is our theory. There are per se, the government really hasn't done anything but give us a mandated vaccine. So realize that's the level of help that we've gotten from them. So realize you are your best student. You're either your greatest adversary or your greatest enemy. And a lot of us, we're our greatest enemy. It's true. We've all been there. We all know the truth, but we may have this cognitive dissonance where the truth is just hard to just follow through on. And that's why it's important to realize that this ecosystem, which is part of this great reset, is the information that's just straightforward. Could you imagine getting this straightforward information in a timely manner? Could you imagine having the AI next to you, allowing it to decipher medical terms better than any medical doctor or all the medical doctors combined could do for you? So think about that. If you had a system, if you had an attorney at all times by your side, isn't that pretty good? I mean, you could ask them a question, they could give you a solid answer. If you had a doctor or all the doctors, all the different types of doctors next to you, wouldn't it be pretty cool to just ask them a question and get a verified answer? So this is the era we are in. And because we're in this era, we have evidence-based data solutions. And what we're talking about is the ultimate in human optimization. Where do you want to go? Where do you think we're at? These are some of the great questions that we have, and I'm just so great. Thank you, Steve Cummings. Thank you for the comments, guys. They start coming through, and I will be asking all types of questions here. And then we have a question about COPD, and we'll answer this question here shortly. And with our system of health technology, you'll see that the COPD is just a bacteria in the lungs. The current system won't do anything to help you because they can get you today, they can get you tomorrow, they can get you 5 years from now with buying those pharmaceuticals that just keep you above dead. You know, they're not taking care of the root cause issue. If you knew the root cause issue of any disease, any chronic disease, guys, in frequency medicine, I'm going to teach you really quick before we move on to the next step because people are rolling through here with information. So every chronic disease is caused by cellular impairment. If your cell is not up to speed, well, why is it? Well, a bacteria, a mold, a fungus, a toxin, a virus are impeding on your cells. And the sixth one, a parasite. So these are the 6 things that can impair your cells. There could be many different of these issues. You could have all 6 of these issues impairing your cells. But as we can see, Trish, what if we were able to tell you what exactly was impairing your cells? And what if we told you we had the exact frequency medicine? We're not talking about vague bacteria. We're talking about specific genus level bacteria, like not just the category, but the specific. And if we had that solution, we had all these other solutions to get your systems online, there's nothing to be afraid of. This is the great reset. And I do have a special guest. And I'm going to bring him on and I'm going to answer this last question. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Linda. Thank you guys for all joining. and I'm going to bring on Chef Misha. Let me bring him on here. There he is.
Wow. God bless America. Good to have you here, John. How are you?
Nice, nice. And I call him Chef Misha. He does so much more than he is a fantastic chef. I've got to say that he's a
What's
biohacking chef. But
what is that? What is that, John?
that is our frequency shirt. Good job wearing this. And this is at the level of
I was wearing
a
it before
frequency shirt.
John asked me to come on the podcast today. I was wearing this just because. Actually a prefect to my outfit. Okay.
Well, I'm so happy to have you on here. You know, Chef Misha is in so many different things. He's into agriculture. He's into helping veterans. He's into his dad is one of the most famous doctors of all time. 17 New York Times bestsellers. So he comes from a medical
19.
background. Okay, 19 New York Times bestsellers. He was ingrained in this since a young age. He also he works with trauma. He works with mental health, and so I just don't know what he doesn't do. He's kind of a guy like me, and that's how I met him. He's a little bit of a savant. Uh, not everyone's gonna like us or hate us. It doesn't matter. We do what we do. So you know, uh, Misha, please give us a little rundown of what you're up to and how you're doing.
Yeah. Very simple. So, I'm a chef. I believe you can heal most chronic disease through a Ayurvedic, Chinese medicine, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, farm to table experience. Uh, all that means is no processed foods, no high fructose corn syrup, and like if you want sugar, have real cane sugar or honey. Um, but the thing is, like most people in the wellness space, practitioner space, brand space, leadership space, no one understands the baseline of nutrition. No one understands the baseline of how the ecosystem has to come together, whether it's an agricultural environment, regenerative ag versus, factory farming. So John Baxter is someone I met at a conference, I guess in 2021. I think it was like really early on, like almost 5 years ago. Um, and he had anti-aging bed. It was there was a guy that had this amazing Korean guy, no, Chinese guy, um, big investor, but he didn't actually sleep for like 3 weeks. For like 3 weeks, he was just going conference to conference to conference, and he got in John's bed within 13 seconds, passed out. Remember that guy? Remember that guy?
I
Yeah,
vaguely, I
yeah,
vaguely.
yeah, yeah. So he was big on like the whole marketplace for grounding medicine, grounding mechanisms. And he told me he's never, and John, I never told you this. He told me he never actually had a grounding technology that made him actually feel fully grounded. And he was on John's bed for let's just say probably 8 hours. It was the whole day. Remember that? It was you remember? Ask one of your employees. It was very impressive. But
I think he
John
was a
told me that
Chinese doctor.
yes, he was. He was. It was that weekend. John told me about Operation Honeybee in AgVet. So the more I understand about wellness, you have to understand the entire environment and ecosystem. If you don't help your environment heal, how can you internally and externally heal? So John Baxter actually runs one of the top uh, leading Save the Bee foundations called Operation Honeybee, and they have a veteran platform for veterans to create agricultural solutions, housing, and wellness clinics through agvet.com. Agvet.org. But in that, anti-aging bed is the vehicle where every single person can have in-home solution healing mechanisms. And for me, I'm a big stickler. Like my dad's an amazing doctor. I've been in this space for literally 30 years. I've been in this space, 35 years. There's no one that has the top to bottom bulletproof thoroughbred advice and healing mechanisms is John Baxter. So I just want to like let you know those pillows behind you helped my dog live to 24 years. He has biohacking frequency grounding technology in every part of his technology, which makes him not just American made, he's a hero.
Misha, like, thanks, man. I know I'm modest, and you always tell me I'm too modest. I should just
That's your problem.
Yeah, that's my problem. He tells me it's my problem. But as the son of the one of the most famous doctors in the world, he actually knows this stuff, and he's went around the world, and he's went to every conference. I can't do any more conferences. I'm sorry, but he still
No, no,
goes.
no, 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 no. Can you explain why? So when John goes to a conference, it's not just oversaturated. Every person is using an outdated manufacturer out of country. They're paying extra for this. John is the reason why he's so special is he's actually American made. He is Indiana is the heart country of America. However, he literally can build you anything from America, and no one can do that for you.
That's true. That's a skill that took a long time. And in America first, I mean, we don't want to be buying stuff during a war that we can't get. Healthcare is too important to play with people. And we are always trying to grow our manufacturing stronger, faster, better, more efficient. So we're always working on that. But as you can see, like this territory, this great reset. Today's topic, Misha, is the great healthcare reset.
Wow. What are you?
And
Okay, so what did I miss? So what was the big highlight of that? Like, are you besides you being the epicenter of actually this information? What was your takeaway of like how do we approach this? Like, do we just like
well,
storm the
it's the
Capitol?
ecosystem. It's the environment, right? It's not only the environment with the food. It's our environment, the personal environment. If I get better light myself and better oxygen I'm breathing and better food and better frequencies, I've changed this environment. And then this external environment, it is the future. It truly is the future. It's not done in a lab.
So is your audience very clear on the frequency and mechanism of light and healing? Because I feel like if you just give like 90 seconds of why frequency is so important in terms of not just the med bed, but in terms of actually diagnostics and reoccurring downloads of healing, I think it's phenomenal to even think about. Don't smile.
Well,
You should smile. You're a mechanism guy.
I would say that we're always working on educating and informing the public the best we can. And Misha's totally right. We are electric. Our whole premise is that the body is electric, and the body is more electric than it is water. So if our premise is true, which I know it is, if our body is more electric than it is water, the whole chemical systems that we're using mimic something nature already created. However, let's say this was the antidote for a health issue. Big pharma try to recreate it, so it's less of what it could be because nature already had it right. So they're trying to mimic and create a chemical that is less than the actual.
That's genius.
And
That's
then
genius.
guess what we did? We enhanced the forces of nature. We took your light and we enhanced your light therapy. We took your food and added more nutrition.
You doubled down on the right frequencies, right?
And then we doubled down on the environment. You change the environment, and this goes for mental health too. If there's just someone that you're allergic to, you need to get away from them physically.
Hold on, John. So it's not mental health too. It's your microbiome, your gut health is a direct mirror and an amplifier for your mental health. So anything you do for your chronic health will fix your mental health. And the reason why anti-aging bed and John's technology is so important is, yes, we're all suffering from chronic health issues. All of us. I mean, I think it's like 92% of people are dealing with a chronic health disease, right? 78 to 92%. Technically, they're all like gluten sensitive, right? But John's someone that can actually minimize the technology to realize that it's frequency based. Electricity is not Edison, it's Tesla. Electricity, energy is Tesla 369 based. And there's not one mother sister in the space, besides John Baxter, that knows how to actually use the Rife and the Tesla technology to the best of their abilities to actually not just reprogram and heal, but literally remediate most all chronic mental health disease. Because again, disease comes from the gut-brain barrier. If you fix your gut, you fix your brain. anti-aging gut is what John's company should be, but it's not great branding. Beds are better.
Well, I would say yes, Misha. You know what we looked at is like the sleep system is 8 hours. All you have to do is change the environment for 8 hours. So Misha's correct. When we're talking about this great reset, we're talking about change the environment. But I also wanted to talk about the so that the system's collapsing, and we know that they don't focus on sleep. They don't recover. They don't work on recovery. They don't care about stress. They look at symptoms and they give you drugs for this. That's why the future is longevity. The future is improving your recovery, your performance, your mental aspect. And Misha, could you cover some of the things you do for trauma? We heard RFK recently come out about like certain banned substances at one time. Like, give us a rundown on how people could increase their mental
before we
health.
go there, before we go there, I have the person from Beyond clinic in Mexico, the neuroplasticity clinic, has actually asked me for this link. How do I send them the link to as a viewer? Is it like hard to get? If you're viewing right now, the link is John.
Yeah, you could share the link in the email.
Oh, Jesus.
Or I
Okay,
could,
got you.
you could be texted.
Moses. Oh, Moses. They're watching they're watching later or whatever. Okay, so John kind of. I'm sorry. Let me use that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So John is not just a great orator, a great speaker, but also a great interviewer, right? Part of Anti-Aging Bed and their whole platform for healing is not just great for the average man, the everyman, the Christian wife, the housewife. It's great for the battle-worn veteran that's suffering through severe PTSD and trauma and TBI, which is traumatic brain injury from a blast, whether it's shot in the head or a bomb near on their face, right? So right now, there's so much research being done for how, quote unquote, RFK is talking about this, especially Joe Rogan's talking about this almost on every podcast, but on psychedelic therapy and ibogaine specifically for PTSD and trauma. But the most beautiful thing is I've been in this space for about 10 years, or 8 to 9 years, like really, really deeply. And the people who are doing the psychedelic work, they're doing nothing on the back end for integration. Integration is the most important aspect. So for basically 45 days to 40 days, you need no PTSD, no stress, no anxiety, no drama, no nothing. So if you could put your nervous system and your body into a med bed environment. So John mentioned like about 8 minutes ago that you could actually have essentially a PTSD environment to sleep with the med bed. But you want the med bed and that experience to actually give you resiliency because you're working so deeply. Oh my God, sorry, I had Texas. Forgive me. You're working so deeply on that nervous system recalibration that the med bed can actually reorganize your genome and reorganize your cells to lower inflammation in your entire nervous system, help you sleep. And they already have studies and help it lowers depression and anxiety. So all of these veterans who are suffering from severe chronic health issues and chronic mental health issues is because as they sleep, they're suffering. Imagine you gave them a mechanism, whether it's the med bed, anti-aging bed cover, or the full, wellness suite that John Baxter put together for $179,000. We could actually create a hospital-level environment at every Boys and Girls Club, every synagogue, every church, every mosque, any IDF environment, any Palestinian, protest environment, to heal chronic disease and mental illness with literally the most low-impact devices. A bed cover, a frequency a diagnostic machine, and John, maybe you could throw on some other devices. But I've been in this business for 25 years. My father's been doing this since I was born, so I'm 36 now. So I've been seeing this since I was at least 7 years old. There's no one that's top to bottom, intrinsically understanding the core issue, and then creating comprehensive solutions for the problem. And for that, I give John my life, my entire brain scan. I'll give him the image clinic. We can go. I'll give him my brain scan. I want to use the technology to prove hard fact solutions that people think that we cannot solve these issues. And the problem is, John, you're the answer.
Okay, yeah, no pressure, and I'm happy to
No, no,
take
no,
this
no, no,
on.
no. Hold on. There's no pressure. No, John, you already did it. The pressure was like 4
We
years
already
ago.
did it.
John, the pressure was 4 years ago. Right now, all you have to do is like go swimming with your daughter and go find the bees.
Well, we can never get the message out enough.
But before I let John just like actually forget what I'm doing here, this technology is not. I had 4 people today saying, "Oh, Flower Life." I go, "No, it's Flower Life plus grounding technology and frequency." So this is actually on the website. We'll put a link on here, whatever. I got a vibrations, my light, whatever. This is healing me today. John, back to you.
Yeah, Misha brought up some important points, and when we're looking at this, it's like meticulously going through health and not being indoctrinated by a fake system. So many of Misha and his like doctor friends, they're like they're envious of me because one, I'm doing what they wanted to do. And I always tell them they can join our team because at the end of the day, I just didn't do this for myself. I actually just did it for myself.
Well,
And
John,
then
can you
it,
just say one? Can you say one thing, not to defame my doctor friends? John has not just done medical school; he's actually done like the KGB, CIA, FBI research on how to get the best technology in the world, which a doctor at medical school would get 1/15th to 1/25th of the wisdom that John gives. So John's actually an educator before he becomes a founder. So like the problem with him is he's a founder, but he has to now teach people. So he needs foot soldiers to educate people so he can just show up. Right? Is that more clear?
yeah, and that's what we're constantly doing. That's what I'm constantly doing. But we're looking for people just like you. You want to make this a life mission and purpose? It's everyone's life mission and purpose to make sure no one is suffering. So if you ask yourself, do I want people to suffer? And you say no, then you're probably a healer. And if you're a healer, there's a group, there's a team over here to join. And if you want to join this team, it's the most rewarding work you could ever do. Like, tell me something more rewarding than helping people or animals that were suffering feel better and heal. Tell me something. It doesn't matter how much money gets thrown on a desk. You know, I watched that Mayweather, the Money Mayweather. Look how sad his life is. He has so much money, and he has the saddest life of everyone. So the reality is, it's not in life. The most rewarding things that you'll ever do is help your fellow friends, family, local community, and citizens. Other than that, what can you really go for, Misha?
Well. What John was really the whole Money Mayweather thing was really funny because what you're saying is that these people think they know best. John's biggest problem is he's so nice. John has so much more information and value add than any other founder I've ever met in my life. So what you need to do, John, is honestly sit in your power and just teach doctors because doctors right now are actually getting subsidies to look into functional medicine and like all that fun stuff. But your job, I think honestly, is not so much about educating the medical staff, but you could actually create centers all around the world where you can use your technology as showrooms. And what I would love to do is explain the showroom model because there's very little group of networks of companies that actually can say, "Hey, I'll give you a $2 million clinic, and I'll show you how to make money off that." It's all a money grab. John Baxter can actually build you a clinic and a showroom on his own device platform that will rival the Cleveland Clinic, the Mayo Clinic, and I can say this on behalf of my father raising $4 billion for the Pritzker Foundation for the Cleveland Clinic. John Baxter is the most sound frequency technology ever, and it's all American made. So right now it's important that we actually are in a war with people. We need to make technology and healing technology at home. So, John, can you explain just very quickly your circuit model of if you wanted to create a hospital on a 5-acre farm? How could you do it? What's the process? How can we buy your product? How do we email you and get that amazing PDF that you sell, the May catalog?
Okay, yeah, great. So if we had a 5-acre farm in the Catskills of New York, right?
Or
And
in Davie County, Florida, which is my main one for
or in
you.
Florida, wherever you're
Yeah,
at, guys, if we had a little bit of land,
it's
uh,
30 acres in the Catskills, by the way. But yes, keep going.
okay, well, if we even had 1,000 square feet or 500 to 1,000 square feet inside of a building, we could have the most amazing ecosystem of longevity products ever created. From the time you scan to the time you start going into the next machine, into the next machine. Let's say you're dealing with a chronic disease. You want to get away from the city for a moment. You go there. You spend just 2 to 3 hours a day doing the system. We measure you before and after, so we show you where you're going, and you're eating the most delicious foods that we grew outside. We not only that, you have bees. You get to get your feet in the soil. You'll get to do a little Tai Chi. You'll get to do the freestyle Tai Chi that we teach.
A
You'll
lot
get
of
a
Tai Chi.
cooked meal from Chef Misha.
Mandatory Tai Chi.
Mandatory Tai Chi to get your energy levels and your breath and your movement going. We forget about like this physical body sometimes at the level of we're not a robot, we're a human,
Well,
guys.
he's doing Tai Chi, Valley. He's doing Tai Chi. You saw me do it. He's doing it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
That's too funny. Yeah, and once you go through the system, not only are you helping people, what Misha was saying is we can rival the current medical system fairly easy. Yeah, what would cost them tens of millions of dollars would cost us
Tens of millions of dollars on
$100,000.
research, hiring, staff. He's not joking. Tens of millions. Oh yeah, he's here. My guy. There he is. Here he is. He works in crypto. Anyway, the point is, if you understand chronic pain, chronic suffering, old folks' home, elderly communities, very high impact Montessori schools, people who need to deal with trauma, PTSD, anxiety, and autism. This technology, John did not bring up his bioscanner, which is my favorite tech, but it is a frequency-based diagnostic and treatment model, which would cost a Russian doctor or a German doctor $125,000 for diagnostics. I lost John.
No, I was just getting the bioscanner information.
God bless America. So this, wow, that's great. So it's complete biofeedback and frequency analysis system. It's much better to say it like that. So it's in a suitcase, and the suitcase makes you realize, keep it tight, keep it right. There are crystals in here that can actually not just, let's just put it this way. A German and a Russian hospital would charge you $90,000 maybe for an intake. We could do it for, John can hug you and do it for free. Or you can buy your own. So we want to help you create a hospital in your community, in your environment, with your church, with your synagogue, with your local, fire department. Because John Baxter is someone that can build you the full circuit diagnostic healing environment, which I'm telling you would cost you $5 to $8 million. John saying 10, sure, without the discount code, yeah, $10 million to build you a hospital that he can do with under $200,000. And for me, what is that? That's called solution-oriented healing mechanism technology. So thank you, John. You did the work.
I worked very hard. I was super blessed, and my pain became my purpose. So this came with a lot of pain.
Can you explain that? Can you explain that really quick? That's very important.
So when I broke my neck,
yeah.
I broke my neck in collegiate level wrestling. I won the state title in Greco-Roman, but in that match, I broke my neck. I refused the surgery, 4 through 6 on the left side. I refused the surgery, and I moved like this for over almost 2 decades. And I was just already an innovator in the mattress industry, and I had created many different things. And then I created this grounding patent And when I created the grounding patent, it opened up the door for the other 100 technologies because no one really understands grounding. A lot of people claim they do. I saw a person say, I have a grounding mat, but it doesn't work. And it
Can
was
you
like, well,
explain
Trish,
can you
you
explain
haven't really
grounding?
tried.
Can you explain grounding to the people that don't understand? Because you and I, grounding is like the most basic part of all healing mechanism, right? Go to nature, go heal, touch the ocean, hug a tree, then do the biohacking. But for people who don't understand what grounding is, like it sounds like I'm gonna ground. No. But John, like your company's based off grounding. So can you explain what grounding is just on a deep level?
Yeah,
Or
so grounding is
yeah.
basically connecting to the earth. And when you're connected to the earth, you're electrically connected. It's like touching a live wire. So when you touch the earth, it's like touching a live wire that's a very low voltage. And because of this, it's no different than plugging something in the wall. Why do we have the third prong in the wall? Because it's the ground wire. Without the ground, guess what? Every house is on fire. Every house down the street is on fire. Why? Because that little invention called the ground. And how did we create the future of healthcare and frequency medicine? Is because we created the ground. And because we have the patent on the ground, all the frequency medicine, I don't care if it's your red light, I don't care if it's your PEMF, I don't care what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. First of all, you're using all these devices and you don't even know what it's actually doing to you.
By
And then
design, though, but by design, it's confusing, right? Like John is the only person that's trying to unstupefy and simplify this grounding tech, which is so important, and this is why I actually love John is he understands this on a molecular and cellular level versus like, hey, let's make money off people's fucking idiocy.
well, we're trying to unfuck ourselves, unfuck our humanity.
Explain the how you if you wash your stuff, it's not going to ruin it, and if you wash their stuff, it ruins in 4 washes. Can you explain that really quick?
Yeah,
We might
and
get sued,
basically
but they can sue
because
me. It's fine.
because grounding was a cheap, basically like when you walk in the grocery store, a cheap little gadget that didn't work in like a couple days. That's what grounding was before we came around. It was that little thing that was like it could work, but it probably doesn't work. We don't even know what it does, right? We were the people that got the patent on it to make it stretchable, conductive, breathable, washable, and
Nano
actually
silver
work for the
technology
level of
also.
5 to 7 years.
Would you using nano
Not
silver
what
technology? You're using really great technology also. Like you're doing
ours.
the
Ours
best tech
is
on the
silver,
marketplace.
silver conductive thread. Silver is the most conductive out of all the metals. Believe it or not, it has the least resistance. That's why it's the most conductive. We use silver in a formulation that's coiled so that it stretches. Because that it stretches, it neutralizes your voltage from the Wi-Fi, the TVs, your cell phone, and it discharges you into the earth. So when we talk about a complete,
Silver right here.
there you go, silver. So we're really quick, Misha. When we're talking about the real reset, we only have so much time and so much attention. Like, how do you see the world resetting? Like, let's say the healthcare system gets reset. You know all this stuff. You know what your dad says. You know what RFK does. You know more than most people ever thought about knowing. How do you see the great health reset happening?
Well, so here's the reality, right? So everyone right now in the space is caring about longevity medicine, regenerative agriculture, which means regenerative medicine, and overall the environment. However, there's a sweet spot for veterans and first responders to actually get this technology built in, and there is not one company in the marketplace that fully understands the diagnostics, the treatment, the protocol, and how to create an entire environment and ecosystem for healing. So right now what's happening is there's a sweet spot, which John and I have been in this space for 20 plus years. I mean, John, you've been in this space for 18, 20 years, right? More, right? Yeah. He has seen this grow from like crunchy granola to now mainstream. We're going to invest hundreds of $1 million into a wellness tech. So the issue right now is that people are not doing their research. They're investing their money into products and brands that have great marketing budgets, and they're all failing. What I know about John Baxter and his brand with Baxter Industries and Anti-Aging Bed and AgVet and Operation Honeybee is they are cutting edge, and they are not just looking to improve on their own devices, but they're seeing how their technology can impact overall systems. So I'm going to send this link to Trump and to Ivanka Trump and to Jared Kushner and to all our people, because this technology, anti-aging bed, which we didn't actually cover before I came on, but John's underlying technology is the med bed. The med bed should be on every single hospital, every single freshman dorm, every single hospice experience, because this is healing technology. The fact that we're letting our veterans and our people and our Americans suffer from trauma and from abuse of our nervous system is not just un-American, it's a terrorist experience. So for me, John Baxter, you are not just an American, you're an American hero. And I see you as someone that could actually not just run for office, but could run for president. On this preface alone, and RFK is not like the goat of the healing tech. He is parroting and pirating and telling everyone's best theory through his mouth because he's the politician's lineage, right? So your job right now is to piggyback off anyone that never believed in you, that now is using you as a leverage to actually succeed. Because you are the smartest, the sharpest, the most handsome. And you have a great six-pack, and your daughter is really sweet. And I love you, John Baxter, and I'm here to support you forever. God bless you, and God bless America.
Yeah. Thank you, Misha. That means
clip
a
that,
lot.
Clip that, and we'll Instagram that and clip everywhere.
You sent it to RFK.
Done. Tag him.
Nice.
But John, is there anything I said there that you disagree with? Right? Like as a founder, am I lying to you, or is that true? Like you believe that you are the one.
It's true. There's a lot of people that copy me. There's a lot of people that are not originals. There's a lot of people that take my talks and they try to make it into a huge podcast. I am so far ahead that people are using my talks and my technologies as something for themselves. You know what? You can't take me. You can use my.
I think you're 20 years ahead of everyone else, honestly, because they're doing research, manufacturing, more research, more development. You're thought, research, manufacturer. Like you're 25 years ahead of everyone. And I told 3 people that yesterday in an email, and I stand by that.
I would say maybe 10 plus years, but 20, 25.
Fine, 17.
So yeah, I mean, so like, how do people get involved? Like, you want to get involved with me and Misha, from AgVet to sustainable regenerative farms to products to wellness centers. You know, that's a great question, Fran. You just sign up at antiagingbed.com, reach out to agvet.org. Misha, you could put your information in the comments here as well.
Well, John's my official manager, so all my emails go through the anti-aging bed. So I'm just kidding.
Okay,
whatever you want,
but send them us. We'll get it out to Misha. And
but John, can you really quick? Can you explain how the mechanism works? So, you are anti-aging bed, but you also 15 years ago created Operation Honeybee and AgVet. So the goal is to create environmental ecosystems. We're actually creating biohacking healing centers, wellness longevity healing centers with the technology he has on properties that have farms, regenerative farming, and agricultural solutions. So anywhere from like 400 square feet to 400,000 acres. So John, I think you need to maybe for your audience just be clear on like you are the vehicle, like you're the one that can make it all happen. I just like vegetables and cooking. Like I'm just your friend.
We were so far ahead of time. Of course, people thought I was crazy, but I wasn't. I was just telling the truth. And of course, they thought I was crazy because I was so far ahead. And I was like, I've been a solutions guy my whole life. I got this one. Like you may not have it, but I definitely got it. Not only did I come up with these theories and say, oh, I'm a genius because I thought about it, I actually brought it to life. Not only the 100 technologies and the health technology that like Tell me about it. I eat, breathe, and sleep it every day for 25 years, an inch better every day. That's how I got here. Same thing with the agriculture, the bees. The last two things Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla worked on was what would humanity do if we lost bees? So if those were the two top guys in our country or in the world, and
Do research. I mean, seriously, it's insane. John's right.
the last two things they worked on and they never got to finish was what would humanity do if we lost bees? All the most nutritious food that humans eat require bee pollination. Corn, corn is required from wind pollination. And last I checked, Bill Gates has got his hands all over that and insect protein. Okay, so if you want to go that route, that's your choice. That's your option. But if you want to go this route, this is just truth. Call us the Truth Foundation because we're not going to give you. I'm not the most liked guy. Thank you for that post today because I speak the truth. I only speak the truth because I don't want to waste my own time. You may not like it, but I'm here to give you my opinion, and I'm here so that you can know that we can do this. This is the Great Reset. You want to live outside of the system. You want to have the most nutritious food. You want to make sure you're not stuck on a merry-go-round, paying bills and never getting your health fixed. That's up to you. The health and the options and the priorities, they're all in your hand. You have to do something with it. If you want to learn more and you want to know more, reach out to us. At the end of the day, that's what you likely should do. Learn, educate yourself. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge you have and the more understanding you have, the better decisions you can make. And that's what this system's all about. Not some hokey pokey scalar technology, not some light system that is fake, not some type of supplement that has turmeric in it, but they make the same medical claims. You know, why are we always the stupid ones when it comes to marketing? I am not marketing anything. What you see in marketing is something that's not real, but you're sold. This is completely real. And because that, you'll see, like, data doesn't lie. The scoreboard doesn't lie. We say this all the time. And if your data doesn't lie, the data is the science. And because we have so much data, we're able to extrapolate this data and give it to you on a silver platter. But I think that's about all we have today, Misha. Well, how about you wrap it up?
I mean, really quick, like, I know friends that run clinics in Sweden and Europe that they charge $75,000 just to get diagnostic treatment, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free food. If you want to get healing and want to get a real diagnostic, go to John Baxter's clinic in Orlando. And we'll talk about a price, but between us, John will take care of you. We're very expensive, but for you, we'll do it for less expensive. John Baxter is the only person that understands this space on a diagnostic, treatment, and healing level. And I only know that because my father is the #1 doctor in North America. All right, Hyman out. And Baxter, I'm proud of you, and you are fucking handsome. And keep it up, all right?
Well, much love, guys. Thank you so much for joining, Misha. You know, we'll have to do this again. We're fighting the good fight. So there are warriors.
If they want to buy this shirt, John, where do they get this shirt?
You get that shirt at antiagingbed.com. It's always sold out, but just go ahead and get it because
yeah. Just email John. You get a secret one. We'll get it signed for you. Okay.
We also have free books. If you want a book, type in free book.
Great
You'll
book.
Get a digital copy.
Great read. Great beach read, guys. Great beach read.
Well, Misha is in New York City right now. He's been all over the world. We got him for a couple minutes here. Thank you so much for joining, Misha.
I'll be at the aging headquarters next week. So if you want to see me and John, you can pay double. See you soon.
All right, guys. That's all we have here today. Thank you so much, Misha and everyone. Thank you for all joining.
Love you, John. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Have a nice day, everyone.